When I was diagnosed with melanoma, it was just such a shock because I had always been so careful, gone to the dermatologist.
When Debra was diagnosed with a stage 2 melanoma almost 2 years ago, our life changed considerably.
Right now, over 8,000 people a year in the United States die from melanoma. That's 1 an hour about.
If somebody like myself, who was lucky enough to have access, could be in the position I was in, we're all at risk.
We as a family thought this was something we should get more involved with.
My husband Leon and I founded the Melanoma Research Alliance under the auspices of the Milken Institute.
It was a model based on sharing and collaborating.
We brought together 30 of the best scientists from 6 countries and asked a very straightforward question. Nothing is working to save people with advanced melanoma. What do we do from here? And let's start doing it.
It's important to understand that absolutely anybody, regardless of their skin color, can get melanoma.
I had always thought melanoma was a rather benign topical skin disease.
I like to think of it as 2 basic categories, the pink ones and the brown ones. The pink ones being the basal cell type skin cancers and squamous cell type skin cancers, and the dark colored ones being melanomas.
It starts from moles, and we're quite used to seeing those moles, and we don't often notice that suddenly they start to change shape.
The critical question that people often ask is, how do you distinguish a mole from something more dangerous? And I think the important thing is that if a mole changes, then that's often a warning sign.
They go by A, B, C, D. A for asymmetry in a spot, 1/2 doesn't look like the other. B for irregular border, instead of being round or oval, a sort of jagged border. C for multiple colors in the same lesion instead of being a fairly uniform color, and D for large diameter, greater than the diameter, say, of a pencil eraser.
I was completely shocked when I got the diagnosis of melanoma. I was a case where there was no known primary. So I didn't have a lesion on my skin, which was the normal way that someone would find melanoma. I had a small bump next to my ear. It was very shocking, and of course it was even more shocking that it was already at stage 4.
When we realized what was going on in the field, or how little was actually going on in the field, we decided we wanted to fast forward research in melanoma.
We are diagnosing melanoma approximately every 8 to 10 minutes.
The MRA's vision is to fast-forward research in melanoma.
The particular role of MRA is that it's basically a patient-funded organization.
MRA looks to support projects that are innovative, that are rigorous, but that have near-term potential to help patients with melanoma.
The most important thing we can do is bring all these people with good ideas into the room, force them to share them with each other early, and to listen to the opinions and criticisms of their colleagues, all in the interest of patients.
The Melanoma Research Alliance targets this collaborative effort that brings so many different aspects of research into doing teamwork together.
What comes out of that then is much more realistic plans and goals that and expectations that are calibrated, and energy back to the researchers about the things that are going to have the most impact.
One always comes away learning something that one couldn't possibly learn simply by reading the medical literature.
Our focus is on translational research, which was also identified as a critical need for melanoma research.
Many of the principles that we're developing in melanoma we think will be applicable to other forms of cancer.
A lot of it has not been seen before or published anywhere, and it's just creating this sense of both urgency but also opportunity of what could be done in melanoma in perhaps a shorter time than many might have thought.
There's a lack of funding to pursue many of these important leads that we have, and MRA is playing a vital role in supplying important funds for investigators to look into these very promising new areas of cancer therapy.
One of the things that I think we've been able to accomplish with MRA is to cut through a lot of that red tape and get the funding to the best brains and the best ideas very, very quickly.
Availability of the MRA awards came at exactly the right moment for us, and it meant that we were extremely rapidly able to raise the money and to plan this project in a way that would have, I think, that would have taken us another year and a half.
Where one group was identifying the gene mutations, and another group said, we know about a drug, and another group said, we can do a clinical trial, and before we knew it, the first patients had been treated in a very rapid period of time.
It's very important actually to have the human face, the patient presence.
Well, my father was battling melanoma. He wanted to try to reach out and just basically raise awareness for melanoma. With the help of Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band and myself, we got together with the Melanoma Research Alliance and turned into what seems to be a wonderful partnership so far. I feel really blessed to be involved with this organization.
If I had any hope for the next 5 years, it's that we'll solve some of these problems that affect desperately ill people.
There's a real opportunity for an organization like the Melanoma Research Alliance to help bring people together across the sectors and really accelerate the progress that's been made and get to the point where hopefully in a few years nobody will be able to say that it looks the same as it did 50 years ago, and that's really the goal.
When I hear about breakthroughs that are happening, I just have tremendous kind of respect for the scientists and the doctors who are spending their lives looking for cures for something that I have.
Our goal, clearly, will be to lever what we're doing to get government involved, to get pharma involved. Yes, I think we've made very good headway for our first year, but it's really only the beginning.
It's been a blessing, to say the least.